very warm welcome to this special presentation of Rajya Sabha Television Question Hour, where we get you important unstart questions asked by the members of the Rajya Sabha and the answers given by the government. And joining me is my colleague Akhilesh Suman. So Akhilesh, let's begin the show. And the first question that we've picked up is from Ministry of External Affairs. And this one has been asked by members Pratap Singh Bajwa, Dr. Anil Agarwal and Sardar Sukhdev Singh Dhinsa. And they've asked whether the government of Pakistan has provided an official response to India's proposal for opening up of Kartarpur corridor to Kartarpur Sahib.
Kriti, government of India had received the response from Pakistan about Kartarpur corridor, and you know that it has already been started. On 26th of November, Vice President of India had laid the foundation stone for construction of Kartarpur corridor in Indian side. And in Pakistani side, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Imran Khan, had laid the foundation. So, you know that the question is actually before what has happened. So, now that what is happening, government has gone in his reply a bit, some fact for the record. Government has said that on 22nd November, Union Cabinet passed a resolution to celebrate 550th birth anniversary of Guru Nanak Dev Ji in 2019. And inter alia approved building and development of Kartarpur corridor from Dera Baba Nanak in Gurdaspur district of India to the international border, and on the other side, on the Pakistani side, that will be Kartarpur Sahib Gurdwara. So there will be corridor between the two countries, and that corridor will pass through the international border. So talks about this was going on for a long time, and especially in India, where there is a lot of Sikh population who want to see Kartarpur Sahib Gurdwara, and sometimes they used to use binoculars to see that. Yes. And not only Sikhs, even non-Sikhs also in India visit Gurdwaras in a big way. So it is a symbol of Indian identity in some way or other, and that is why Indian government was telling for a long time. And you know that in between Pakistan government change, and now when the new government came led by Imran Khan, he accepted the proposal, and now Kartarpur corridor is coming into the being. But things are being still analyzed, that what will be the timing of opening that corridor, whether it will be open 24/7, who will be the people going from this side to that side, on what type of permit will be required, whether it will be a visa. So generally these nitty-gritty are being talked about. So next question again I'll ask you, Kriti, about again coming on Pakistan and India.
Right.
This is about fishermen and prisoners. What happens in both the countries? There are many fishermen and many prisoners. So exact amount, and whether government of India and government of Pakistan exchange this type of information. What is the answer?
Well, this question has been asked by member T. Ratnavel, and the government has given a very, very comprehensive answer. And the government goes on to say that India-Pakistan, in keeping with the provisions of the agreement on consular access between the two countries, exchange lists of civilian prisoners and fishermen lodged in each other's jails through diplomatic channels twice each year on 1st of January and 1st of July. While Pakistan handed over lists of 53 Indian and believed to be Indian civilian prisoners and 418 fishermen in their custody on 1st of July 2018, India handed over lists of 249 Pakistani and believed to be Pakistani civilian prisoners and 108 fishermen to Pakistan. Government has consistently pursued the matter of early release and repatriation of all Indian prisoners, including civilians, fishermen with boats and missing Indian defence personnel who are believed to be in Pakistan's custody. Government's persistent efforts have succeeded in securing release of 1,748 Indian prisoners, including 1,725 fishermen, along with 57 boats from Pakistan's custody since the year 2014. This includes 178 Indian prisoners and fishermen who have been repatriated from Pakistan in 2018 so far. So certainly a very important answer.
And I'm adding to it, one prisoner, Nihal Ahmad Ansari,
yes,
he is coming here.
Right,
and
he's being released.
yeah,
yes,
he's being released just when we are talking about it.
Absolutely. So a very apt answer at the apt time.
Yeah.
Moving on, and this question is posed to the Ministry of Planning and has been asked by Ahmad Kareem, and he asks, whether the northeastern region of the country is counted among the most backward regions of the country, and whether government has any plan to accord special category status to the remaining states for their upliftment.
Yeah, right, Kriti. Actually, this question was, since it is related to 14th Finance Commission, so the answer given by the government is like this. The government says that 14th Finance Commission did not make any distinction between special and general category states. But there is a question, because northeastern states have got a special category from very long time, and you know that these are the northeastern states, namely Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Sikkim and Tripura. They have been granted special category status for central assistance, and a certain percentage of union budget is earmarked for those states. So, seeing this whole geographical entity, they are a very different geographical entity. So, it is not actually related just to backwardness, but it is also related to some geographical, specific geographical entity, their international boundary, many things are there, and that is why these states are being given special central assistance in all departments, you know.
Right.
And now if you come to another question, it is related to personal public grievance and pensions. The question has been asked by Mr. Prabhat Jha, who is Member of Parliament in Rajya Sabha from Madhya Pradesh. He is asking whether it is a fact that many corrective measures have been taken by government in the direction of procedural facilitation for grievance redressal and convenience of pensioners during the last 4 years.
Well, Akhilesh, the answer given by the government is in affirmative, and the government goes on to say that the grievances received from pensioners, family pensioners from across the country are registered and forwarded to respective ministries, departments for early redressal, and are monitored through online centralized pension grievance redressal and monitoring system. The pendency of the pension grievances is monitored regularly by holding review meetings from time to time with nodal officers of ministries and respective departments. Moving on to the next question, and this one has been asked by member Shamsher Singh Dhullo, and he asks whether it is a fact that a large number of corruption cases against officers of Indian civil services have been unearthed during the last 3 years.
Really, it's a very alarming and very difficult question.
Yes.
And it is not very easy for any government to answer such type of questions, but government has answered, and government has told that 165 officers of Indian civil services are facing 104 cases against them. You can understand the enormity of the number. 165 officers of Indian civil services. These cases have been registered just from 2015 up to now, 2015, 16, 17 and 18. And central government has already taken several measures to promote accountability, because this is a question of accountability. Corruption comes out of accountability, and there are various regions. So that is why vigilance clearance is being denied to the officers who do not file immovable property return within a stipulated time. So you know that everyone knows now that Indian officials and even all employees are supposed to file the property details, what property they are earning, and anyway their income tax return they are filing. But property filing is very important. 13 principles of ethics have been added to All India Services Rule 1968. It's a model code of conduct type of situation that every Indian civil services officers should follow this. CBI has also informed that 42 civil servants have been convicted during the year 2015, 16, 17 and 18. Oh, good number. 42 civil services servants have been convicted. So you know that government is trying to address, because you know that civil servants are considered to be the iron skeleton of our whole Indian administrative system. So it's a very responsible job. So some of the cases are frivolous, some of cases are serious. So it takes some time. But even when 42 civil servants have been convicted, it's a good achievement in that way. Right. I can tell you, Kriti. And now I am asking you a question about Human Resource Development Ministry. Whether government has consulted all stakeholders, including the general public, before coming out with the institution of eminence deemed to be university regulations. The question is by Ripun Bora. I know that it has far-reaching consequences. So what is the answer?
Well, the answer is again an affirmative, Akhilesh. So the Draft University Grants Commission, UGC, and institutions of eminence deemed to be universities Regulations 2017 were put up on the website of the ministry for inviting public comments. Suggestions, objections received from the stakeholders and general public were suitably incorporated by University Grants Commission for institutions of eminence deemed to be universities. Now moving on to the next question, and this one has been asked by member Syed Nasir Hussain. And he asks whether states have requested the central government to enhance the allocation for education under various central sector schemes in accordance with the growth of economy.
This is really an interesting question, whether states have requested the central government to enhance the allocation of education under various, you know that in accordance with the growth of economy, it is very natural that when your economy grows, there is a significant increase in central outlay. So, it is not you know, very unnatural situation. When you have more earning, you spend more, and when you have more earning, you spend on social sectors too. So, it is very you know, affirmative, and program approval board of respective schemes considers and approves state UT program submitted by them as per the guidelines of the scheme. So, government has accepted that yes, this is the situation.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Akhilesh, member Syed Nasir Hussain joined us, and this is what he had to say on his question and the answer given by the government. Take a listen. So you've asked a very pertinent question, allocation for education to states. What do you think of the entire issue?
See, I think over a period of time, now we have a situation in the country where more and more people are getting educated. More and more people, especially from the lower strata of the society, are taking up higher education also. So then there's a need to spend more on education, especially the specialized education now, especially after globalization. We have so much of faculties that are being started in different universities, so much of expertise that is coming in, so much of different streams of knowledge that have been started in different universities and colleges. So we need more funds to flow in so that the universities with public funding can have and the colleges with public funding can have ample resources at their hand to cater more and more education to the people. That is one part. Second part is now since the states have their own limitation in spending on the money, they will depend on the center for more allocation of funds. With the growing economy, with the growing awareness in the society, with more and more people taking up education, I think there's a need to put more funds, invest more in education, so that in the days to come, we can become a knowledge powerhouse in the world. And with the huge human resources in this country, I think we are on the track to become a knowledge superpower in the world, for which I think money is the only thing which is lacking behind.
But Mr. Hussain, the government says that allocation has substantially increased over the years.
See, I would have been happy had the government or the minister concerned had given the data as to how much has been increased in which state, how much has been increased in what stream. I think that would have been more helpful for a better analysis as to which path our education policy is going to one. And we can also keep in track as to what kind of stream the students are looking at, what kind of funds are necessary for that, what kind of education the people want to go out of the country, and for that what kind of preparation they want to have in our own university. And can we put our state universities and central universities, say at least 5 universities in the top 100 in the world. So for that we need huge funding, for which I think it is not only the public funding, but also I think the various resources which the government of India can mobilize to various agencies. I think that would have been, that explanation, that data would have been much better. I think in the days to come I will ask specific questions as to how much has been spent, how much has been increased, accordance with the growth of economy in our country.
Thank you so much for joining us on Rajya Sabha television.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
So, I think it was an interesting answer.
Indeed, Akhilesh. So these were the important questions and the answers. My colleagues will join you with Prashnkal on the other side.